Hi, Al Smith here. This lesson provides an overview of the one no Trump response system. The goal of this particular lesson is to first of all review what the requirements of when opening one no Trump in both first and second seat, third and fourth seat, and then to describe the different building blocks that are included in the one no Trump system. Okay. The first thing, the goals of using this system are to find the best contract given the shapes and the points in the responder's hand. The responder is the captain when the partner opens one no Trump. Okay, one of the things that's really interesting about one no Trump is when your partner opens one no Trump, it establishes that they've got 15 to 17 points, and that gives you a very good opportunity to find game and to find slam. However, given the diversity of the different types of hand shapes, it becomes a there are lots of different components, so you can investigate slams in both majors and minors in an efficient manner. Okay, when that's really nice when you've got a strong hand, but just as equally probable is when you have a really crappy hand when your partner opens one no Trump. And the goal here is to suffer the least amount of damage and maybe, just maybe, come out with a positive score. Okay. The way that this course is structured is to provide you an easy to learn system that is based upon incremental building blocks that'll let you advance the level of your game. Okay. And also to then allow you to do this in a manner that is efficient. Over the years, I've found that there's lots and lots of information available on the internet. There's lots and lots of information available from different books. However, 90 to 95% of all the information out there is either dated, written in 1930 or 1970 and so forth, or just plain wrong. It also is not based upon the system, the overall system. For example, if you're using Jacobi transfers, it's impacted by other conventions that are add-ons like Texas transfer, delayed Texas transfer, four clubs as a special initiation of an ace or kiosk system. So if you don't add these conventions in the right order, you actually are creating a flawed system and many times have to unlearn a lot of things, and it's just very difficult to get it right. One of the other problems with the information is that they only give you a sliver of how the convention is to be played. For example, if you go out and look at Stayman, most discussions will only indicate how to handle the first bid and the response by the opener, and not how to handle it in detail. So my goal here is to save you the pain and the agony of trying to figure out all this stuff for yourself. I spent the last 15 years putting this together, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Okay, before I get started in the actual lesson, if you haven't seen this before, I wanted to go through this real quickly, is what the anatomy of the lesson is. First of all, there's a couple of prerequisites of technical things that you need to know how to do. You need to know how to find the chat box, the Zoom chat box. You also need to know how to raise your hand. Another thing is that when we go to Shark Bridge as the second component of this lesson, the Shark Bridge window will open up and cover up your Zoom window. Your Zoom window is still active. Some people, by clicking around, get their Zoom window back on top. You need to know how to find and to manage your open windows so that when we're in Shark, you can actually be in Shark 2. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Lesson registration is a fully automated process, and you do that by going to the SE Academy page on the SE Academy website. Okay, there's a calendar there that'll show the lessons that are upcoming in the next 5 weeks. And underneath that is the registration section. Okay, and you can register both for live and recorded lessons. Okay, and the process is you click on the appropriate icon. It opens up. It will ask for your name and your email address. It'll ask you to put that in twice so that you get it right. If you put in the wrong email address, you're not going to get the information that you're expecting to get. Once you do that, it will open up another window and ask you to join through PayPal. You click on that. Okay, and what that does is open up a window, and you can either pay for the course using PayPal and or a credit card or a debit card. That's down below the payment option, pay through PayPal. That's where 95% of all of us register and pay for courses like this, because we don't have PayPal accounts. It's a very easy process to use. Once you register, you'll get a display of a page that will show you a receipt, but upon completing the registration, you will be sent an acknowledgement email. And in that email, it's going to give you information in relationship to the lesson webinar. It will have links at the bottom of the email. There will be 2 icons, one for the lesson handout, one in what I call a big format. It'll have the word big in it, where you get 1 page, 1 slide per page in the handout. And that's so if you're visually impaired, you can read the information. The second format is to conserve ink and paper for those of us that can still see really well. And that gives you 4 slides per page. So it doesn't take up as much ink or paper. Okay, choose the one that you like best and click on it, open it up, print it, and that way you can study the information before the lesson and also use it to take for taking notes, and then to review the information after the lesson. Okay, in that particular email, also, if it's going to be a live lesson, there's a kind of a blue box with rounded corners that says join webinar. When you're getting ready to join the webinar, 5 to 10 minutes before the lesson is to start, just click on that. It will automatically take you to the Zoom webinar and enter you into the webinar. Okay, if it is a recorded lesson, this is a little bit different. I'm using the system as a kludge. Okay, it's going to tell you the lesson is going to be in December of 2021 or 2022, depending on what the current date is. And instead of using the webinar link in the email is a link that's identified as the link to the recorded lesson. You click on that in order to watch the recorded lesson. Okay, so that's how you get to the lessons, register and get to the various lessons and the information. Oh, by the way, 1 day before the live lesson, you get an email that reminds you that the lesson is upcoming in 24 hours. Okay, as I said, join the Zoom webinar 10 to 15 minutes before the start time. That'll give you time to get situated, get a cup of coffee or Coke, whatever you want to do, so that we can start the lesson on time. When you join, your microphone will be muted, okay, and it will stay muted so that we don't have a lot of crosstalk. Okay, if you get to the point you want to ask a question, click on the raise the hand icon, and I'll be able to see that and then be able to respond accordingly when it's an appropriate time to answer questions. Okay, the lecture portion of the Zoom webinar will probably take somewhere in the neighborhood of about a half an hour. After the lecture portion, what I'll do is I'll initiate the SuperAccept session. What I'll do is I will send you the link to SuperAccept in the Zoom chat box. Once you receive that link, you just click on it, and that will automatically open up SuperAccept. Okay, and I'll go through that process a little bit later on. I've got a little snippet of this presentation. that talks about the shark bridge and how to log on and so forth. Okay, once we get to shark bridge, you'll play the hand, and we'll reset it. We'll look at the hand and discuss it in terms of what should be done, what shouldn't be done, in line with what the lesson topic is. And then I'll let you play the hand again if it's appropriate within that particular lesson format. We'll do this through the series of hands. Generally, that's going to be somewhere between 6 and 8 hands per lesson. Today, it's just going to be 2 because the purpose of these hands is just to demonstrate to you how to use shark bridge, and you get used to how to use the look and feel. Since it's recorded, you won't be doing it, but I'll show you how to do it. Okay, once the shark bridge hands are done, we'll close the shark bridge session, come back to Zoom, which is still open on your screen, and we'll have a question and answer session. That way we can provide closure to anything that came up within the overall lesson. And if later on you figure out you've got questions, or if you watched the recorded one and you got questions, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to respond. If needed, we can get together on the phone and discuss things to make sure that you've got the concepts nailed down. All right, well, let's start the actual lesson today, and we're going to cover a number of really important topics today. The first one is we have to understand the no trump open. So we're going to review that, okay? And then we're going to look at the sequence of the various conventions that comprise the one no trump response system, and why that particular sequence as we build the overall system. I call it a roadmap because, as I said, the sequence is critical. If you do the wrong convention first, it just confuses things. Okay, each new convention builds upon the existing foundation. Okay? Now, whenever you add a convention, you're adding an additional capability, but you're also changing something. So it's really important to minimize the amount of information that's being changed so things are built up in a logical building block manner. All right, now I want to, in essence, kind of describe the playing field for you in terms of points and shapes of hand shape, in terms of the overall one no trump response system. Okay, if you look at this with this matrix here, you'll see different hand shapes across the top row of the matrix. Now, our goal in the one no trump system is to be able to succinctly describe each one of these hand shapes, so the bidding sequence is clear, easy to understand, so you as the responder can tell your partner what you have. Now, there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different levels of points in the one no trump response system. Okay, and we want to be able to describe our hands and the number of points we have in relationship to each one of these point ranges. Okay, 0 to 4 is what we would call a bust. We have my favorite word is crappy. Okay, 4 to 7, we've got some positive values, but we really don't have enough to invite. 8 to 9, we've got what we call invitational points, and we'll review that. Okay, and 10 to 11, we've got enough for game, but not enough for slam. And with 14 or 15, depending how good the bid is and how the pieces fit together, okay, we will have mild slam interest. Okay, so we want to be able to tell our partner, hey, if you've got the right values, we potentially have slam. So depending on what you have, let's go ahead and investigate it if you want. That's back to the opener. And then the opener becomes the captain. And then we have this situation where we have strong slam interest. This is where we've got 16 plus points. Obviously, if our partner has opened one no trump, they've got 15 to 17. So with 16, we know we're in the category of having at least 31 points and should be investigating slam. So we want to be able to fill out this matrix and then incrementally see how it's affected each time we add a convention. We add a convention, it'll show up here over on the conventions in the sequence in which they are added. All right, now before we actually get into the roadmap, let's do a review of the one no trump open. All right, and we're going to review the strong no trump. The strong no trump is 15 to 17 high card points, and that should really be adjusted high card points, but for unguarded honors, and that's in first and second seat. The weak no trump is 11 to 14, and while that may actually be a better overall system, 95 to 99% of all the players in America use the strong no trump system. Okay, and the reason for that, there's just a lot more literature out there. It's just kind of what I would call the herd mentality, and I'm part of that herd. Okay, and there's really no difference as long as you're looking at this stuff in a comprehensive, systematic manner. Now, want to point out that one no trump should be 14 to 17 in third and fourth seat. You go, well, why? Why should it be 14 and not 15? Well, the next slide, I'll explain that in detail. And it doesn't have to do with the one no trump open. It has to do when you open using a minor in a different bidding sequence. And I'll show you what the value of that is. Okay, so first or second seat is 15 to 17. Third or fourth seat is 14 to 17. Now, actually, that 17 you can actually stretch to 18 if it's a bad 18. Okay, in either suit. Okay, now what you're promising your partner when you open a one no trump is 2+ cards in every suit. That's balanced. That's guaranteeing your partner a balanced or semi-balanced hand. Now, in relationship to the majors, you're indicating you've got 2 to 4 hearts and 2 to 4 spades. You do not have 5+ cards in a major. That's an important element of the overall bidding system. In terms of hand shapes, we're going to have a balanced or semi-balanced hand shape. Okay, so we all should be fairly familiar with that. All right, now a really important concept, I can't stress this enough, is that the no trump opener is also going to categorize his or her hand as a minimum no trump opening with 15 to 16 bad high card points. What's bad? Well, bad is a no trump opening that's got a lot of disjointed honors, like a king in one suit, a jack in another suit, and or lots of queens and jacks. Queens and jacks don't take a lot of tricks, but they do add up in the points. So if you've got a no trump opening with 3, 4 queens and jacks, it gets you 15 to 16. It's probably going to be bad, but that's the minimum no trump opening. A maximum is 16 good or better. Right, and we do this so that we can, in essence, the no trump opener can split the no trump range in terms of how they're going to continue bidding into 2 parts, the minimum and the maximum. Okay, now another thing that's really important is that the use of reverses. Okay, reverses, if used, make the one no trump open much more explicit. Okay, because let's say that you have 5 clubs and 4 spades and 16+ money points. You're going to open that hand with and 2 cards of the other suit. So you're 5, 4, 2, 2. You're going to open that hand with 1 club, and then you're going to reverse to 2 spades. If you don't use reverses, you're going to have to open that hand with 1 no trump. Now, and that really complicates matters because the 1 no trump response system is predicated on that you are using reverses. Okay, so that we don't have to take those hand shapes into consideration in terms of the 1 no trump response system. So you see that we've taken a a large universe of hands, and by making the assumption, by requiring you to use reverses, which every convention that you're ever going to use assumes you're using, okay, cuts down on the number of different hand shapes and that you have to be able to address. Okay, again, that's 5 to 6 cards in a lower ranking suit, 4 to 5 in a higher ranking suit, 16 plus length points. You see how that overlaps with the point range for the one no trump open. All right, now let's discuss why 14 in third and second seat. So remember that if you're in third and fourth seat and you're opening, your partner's out has already passed. They've denied the ability to open. All right, so they're saying really that they probably have a max of 11, maybe 12 points. And if it's 12 points, it's because they've got lots of queens and jacks with flat distribution. Okay. And so we know that they've got less than or equal to 13 points, but typically 12. All right, if the option was pass, your partner passing, and you open one club, then your partner opens one, responds one heart. Okay, so you've indicated you've got 3 plus clubs, probably 13 plus length points. And then your partner's saying they've got 4 plus hearts and 6 plus points. And you bid, and because they passed 6 to probably 11 or 12, okay, and then you bid one no trump, what you're indicating is you've got 2 hearts, 2 to 3 hearts, and 12 to 14 high card points. Okay, now, if you are the responder here, the person that bid 1 heart, because your partner has indicated that, and I should say not 12 to 14, but because they open in third seat and you would open one no trump with 14, that limits their one no trump to 12 to 13 high card points. Okay, that's really important because they've got 12 to 13. Now, if you have 10 to 11 high card points, you know the maximum that your partner has is 13, you're not going to bid 2 no trump to invite game because you've got 11, the max they have is 13, that's 24, that's not enough for game. So I'm sure if you've been playing for a while that this is something that has come up a number of times, and you invited your partner to go to game, and they look at their hand and say, yeah, that looks okay, I'll give it a shot, go to 3 no trump, and you get set. Or you go to 2 no trump and your partner passes because they're on the lower end of the no trump range or got more queens and jacks, and you get set then too. So this helps tremendously to keep you from exploring, inviting, bidding 2 no trump after your partner has opened one of these sequences, because you know that they would have opened one no trump with 14 high card points if they play a no trump later, like in this particular sequence. Okay, now that's really important. Go back and review that and make sure that you get that concept firmly implanted in your gray matter. All right, now we're starting this course assuming that you're not using any conventions at all. And the first convention that you're going to add is statement. But what does it look like before there are any conventions? This is horrifying. You know, this is the state of the world back in about 1930. Okay, and there really wasn't any. It was like a desert. Okay, there was really no way to describe the various hand shapes. Okay, if you had 8 to 9 points, you kind of, as a responder, you bid 2 no trump. If you had 10 plus high card points, you bid 3 no trump. Okay, you didn't have a lot of variety and structured bidding sequences so that you could fully describe the hand. I hate teaching this as part of the beginner course, but you got to start somewhere. All right, so that's where we're starting out. So let's look at what happens. Okay, the very first building block we're going to add is stamen. All right, and what stamen was invented back in the late 1930s. And what it allows you to do is to enter use two clubs as an artificial bid to say, hey, I've got a 4-card major, and to explore finding a 4-card major fit between you and your partner. Okay. And also it's structured in such a manner that allows you to determine whether you want to play in a suit contract or no contract, and at what level. You can see down here in the diagram where the stamen fits into the overall bidding matrix. So where you got 4 hearts, 4 spades, you have 4 spades or 4 hearts, and or both of those, or you've got these other situations where you've got 4 hearts and 4 spades with 5 or 6 clubs and diamonds. Now you got this one other little outlier here with 5 spades and 4 hearts with exactly 8 to 9 points. Okay, so if you want to know the details of how to represent these hands, including this little outlier here, because they're very important in terms of the overall system, take the lesson on stamen, or either the live lesson or the recorded lesson. The second building block is the Jacobi transfer. And as you'll see, we got rid of 2 clubs as an actual bid, 2 diamonds, we're getting rid of it, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts are now artificial bids, where 2 diamonds is a transfer to hearts, and hearts is a transfer to spades. You can see that this has a major impact. All of these areas here now that have the red Jacobi you can use Jacobi to show these particular hands, these types of hand shapes. Okay, and one of the major advantages of the Jacobi transfer is it allows us to right side the hand. For example, it goes 1 no trump, you go 2 diamonds to transfer to hearts, your partner bids 2 hearts. Okay, the strong hand is going to be the declarer. When you can make the strong hand of the declarer, it gives you a half a trick advantage, okay, because the opponents have to lead into your strength. Okay, one of the things that's really interesting in here is it starts to give you to fill out in bright colors the ability to describe particular types of hands and particular types of strength. For example, if you're 5-5 in the majors, and it allows you to describe that if you've got 8 to 9 points or 10 plus points, and then very easily distinguish between those hand shapes and those point ranges. Okay, the same is true if you're 6-6 in the majors. So it's got some really nice features for describing hands that come up so that when you have these hand shapes, you've got the ability to handle them. Okay. So that's really an important feature of the Jacobi transfers that most people don't understand. All right, the third building block is the 2 spade transfer to minors. Just like before, now no longer use 2 spades as an actual bid, you're going to use it as an artificial bid to transfer to minors. And you can see that kind of filling in more of this matrix of where you're going to use it. It allows us to name a minor suit contract when there's no major suit fit. I want to emphasize there, no major suit fit. The bidding hierarchy in the standard American system is to give priority to find major suit fit and then to look at the minor suits. Again, it allows us to right side the hand. Okay, right siding is a really important concept. It's used throughout the entire bidding system, because a half a trick is a pretty big edge. Imagine being on a 100-yard dash where everybody else has to start at yard number 1 and you get to start at yard number 40. You've got a pretty good chance of winning. That's almost as that's about the size of the advantage it gives you by right siding the hand. Okay, so you can see again, we're building up this matrix. Okay, now also notice though that we have hands that are not affected. Okay, that there are bids that are going to persist throughout the entire one-no-trump response system. Okay, so, for example, we come over here and we look at, we've got the hand shape of 3, 3, 4, 3. Now that hand shape is explicitly 3 spades, 3 hearts, 4 diamonds, and 3 clubs. This one here is 3 spades, 3 hearts, 3 diamonds, and 4 clubs. You go, my God, are we actually going to be addressing things that have that specific of a shape? You betcha. It's all part of the system. All right. So it also supports the 2-spade transfer, also supports investigating a minor suit slam with mild and strong slam interest. Okay, most of us have never even scratched the surface on how to do this. Okay. The next building block is we want to be able to explore slam with a strong hand. Okay, so we're building this wall where actually phase 2 is how to investigate slam. So and then we're going to investigate how to bid when we've got weak hands. So Gerber is a great convention. Your partner's opened one-no-trump, and you've got a strong hand. Okay, and what Gerber does is allow you to ask for the number of aces and then potentially the number of kings. And you're only going to use this when you have 17 plus high card points. You go 17, boy, that's a pretty exact number. Yeah, it is, and we'll get to why that is. Okay, what's 17 plus 15? 32. 32 is 31 is actually kind of where you really should be considering investigating slam. 32, you should definitely be investigating slam. So 32 is strong slam interest. 31 is mild slam interest. Okay, now you're going to use Gerber for these hand shapes over here. Where you're 5-4 in the minor, you could have a singleton or void. 5-4-2-2, or you've got a flat hand. Okay, we're doing Gerber with the singleton and void here because we don't have a better way right now. Okay, we're going to see some of these things kind of get replaced later on. Okay, so remember, we're building this up and we're replacing bids that we were using before. So we initiate Gerber to investigate. It's really good. And now we've got 17 high card points or 16 high card points when we have a non 3-3-4-3 shape. Okay, so when it's not a totally flat hand, now we're going to probably have 2 4-card suits, or we're going to have a 5-card suit, potentially even a 6-card suit. Okay, and those if you've got a 5-card suit, it gives you the potential of establishing additional tricks based upon that suit length. So that's why we start cutting down the number of high card points that are required. Okay, so in their cases, based upon your bridge judgment, you might want to even do it with 15 if you've got really what you consider to be the ultimate handshake. All right, so that's building block 4. So building block 5 is now we're going to add a way of investigating slam that gets layered on top of Stamen and Jacoby. Okay, that's cool. Wow. Okay, and what we're going to do, it's predicated on when we have discovered a major suit bid. We've got 16 plus lane points. All right, now, how do we do that? Well, if we found a major suit bid through Stamen, or we have a really strong suit that we've transferred to and are using a Jacoby transfer, our next bid, if we jump to 4 clubs, is a conventional bid that initiates an ace or a key card ask. Okay, Ace if it's a black, you're playing Blackwood, or key card if you're playing 1430 or 1340. All right, so it occurs under this type of sequence. The bidding goes one no trump, your partner goes two clubs for Stamen, asking if you got a four-card major. Your opener says, yeah, I've got four spades, and you've got four spades at 16 plus points, and you're going, whoa, we need to be in slam. So you go to four clubs, which says, we're just going to assume that you're using Blackwood here for the heck of it. So you're asking for the number of aces. Well, what's the advantage of doing this? Well, by being able to do it at four clubs rather than having to jump to four no trump, it allows you to ask this question even if you've got a suit with two quick losers, which you would not be able to do if you had to jump to four no trump. So it allows you to lower the level where you can start to ask for aces or key cards. Really an important construct because it gives you more bidding room in order to investigate slam. Same is true in after a Jacobi transfer. Now this is a little bit more one-sided because you really haven't found out whether you've got a true fit. You know that the opener's got two cards in your suit. In this case, the suit is spades. Okay, so generally this occurs when you have the 16 plus points, a 6 plus card suit, and a reasonably good suit. Okay, so, but it's same effect. It allows you to investigate slam quickly and efficiently when you've got the right points and the right hand shapes. So you can see where all of these come down here in red. So these are all the places where this gets used. All right, now you kind of notice that you really don't see it here with a 6-6 and a 5-5. That's because you're going to want to use a different sequence. All right, now the third slam investigating convention is called quantitative. And this was really the first one that was invented back in the 1930s, and it was used a lot in various situations. It was actually used for everything along this bottom row because they hadn't thought of any of this other stuff yet. Okay, now you can see that if it was used for everything down here in the 16 plus category, and it was actually also used for 15, horrible, okay, that over time, its usage has been eroded. Why has it been eroded? Well, because all of these things provide a better way of asking the right question at the right time. However, there is still one situation where the quantitative convention has the best use after the open of one no trump. And that's where you explicitly have 15 high card points. I noticed I said 15, exactly 15 high card points. And your shape is 3-3-4-3 or 3-3-3-4. Notice that is 4 diamonds or 4 clubs. All right, so you go, boy, that's pretty doggone specific. Yeah, it is. So quantitative is terribly, terribly overrated. I wouldn't spend a whole heck of a lot of time on it. Just know that it's part of your toolbox. And remember that you only get to use that when you have this specific shape. Now, when in the lesson, I'll explain exactly what bids are used to describe each one of these specific hand shapes. Okay, each one of these specific hand shapes. So in quantitative, you can tell your partner that, hey, I've got 3 spades, 3 hearts, 4 diamonds, and 3 clubs. So that's the valuable piece of information there is being able to tell your partner which minor you have 4 cards in. All right, now the Texas transfer is the next one. We're starting to extend the Jacobi transfer. This is built on top of the Jacobi transfer. And what this allows us to do is to right side the one no trump, the hand to declare, and also to tell our partner that we've got a 8 plus card fit, 6, we've got at least 6, they've got 2, and that we do not, then we have enough points per game, but not enough points per slam. So in essence, it's the Jacobi transfer to the 4 level. And what it explicitly shows is 14. Uh, and then it also allows us then, by delaying it, to show mild slam interest. By delaying it, I should say deferring it, is that you can transfer to a minor, let's say to a major, let's say hearts, by bidding 2 diamonds, it goes 2 hearts, and then you jump to 4 hearts. What that says is you've got 6 plus in the suit, and you've got 14 to 15 distribution points. And that then allows the opener, if they've got a nice hand with a good fit, to investigate slam. But again, this is with mild slam interest. So you can start to see how many ways we're splitting this hair. The next building block is garbage statement. So we've talked about how to explore and to bid with strong hands. This one is how to bid with a weak hand. And what garbage statement does is allows us to bid with 4 hearts and 4 spades, or 4 hearts, 4 spades, and 4 to 5 diamonds. Most descriptions garbage statement describe the latter, but we can extend that significantly by allowing garbage statement to be used with 4 hearts and 4 spades. Now, it also can be used with what we call a marginal hand. I should say all of these weak hands I should define as 0 to 4. I'll amend this presentation and put that in there, but we can also use it with marginal hands with 5 to 7 if we have a 5 spades and 4 hearts. Okay, because as strange as this may seem, you can actually reach game with this hand shape opposite a 1 no trump opener if you can bid and describe the hand correctly. Okay, and you can see where the Texas transfer comes into play. Okay, it's very interesting. Not Texas, the garbage statement comes into play. We've got these two and these two. I tried to color code all of these so you can identify where things come into play. All right, building block 9 is Smolin. Well, who thought of all these names? Well, I didn't, but there is a particular sequence in which you add these. And what Smolin does, it allows you to describe 2 particular hand shapes when you've got game forcing points as an extension of stamen. Okay, it allows you to describe a hand with 5 spades and 4 hearts, or 4 spades and 5 hearts, with game forcing points. Okay, block number 10 is called delayed Texas transfer. And I don't know why they picked this particular name, but that's what it's called because in essence, it allows you to describe a hand that has, where you've got game forcing points with 6 spades and 4 hearts, or 4 spades and 6 hearts. Okay, and what that does is allows you to explicitly describe that hand shape to the opener. And you can see we have it coming into play right here on these 2 particular hand shapes of where it's used. Okay, now how it's used with each one of these point ranges is important. So that's in the details of the lesson. Okay, now the next building block is a huge building block, a huge building block. It's a refinement to all the entire bidding system that is taking place now. It really started about 10 years ago. Okay, and people, the bridge experts started to discover that why use a bid to describe one hand shape when you can use it to describe 2 hand shapes and create a 2-bid sequence that clarifies that. Now, there are a number of areas where this is true. Okay, the first is where we can use 2 spades as a dual purpose bid. Okay, we can use it as either a transfer to the minors, or I should say, and to describe 8 to 9 high card balanced hand. Well, how's that possible? I mean, the normal convention is I go 2 spades and my partner goes 3 clubs, and I clarify. Well, not anymore. Okay, because and as if you go back to Spade convention, there's a portion of that convention that most people don't know about, where two spades is actually a request for the opener to clarify whether they have a minimum or a maximum. So the answers, the responses to that are two no trump or three clubs, not three clubs. Okay, and given that particular structure, we can then use that bid to describe these two hand types. Okay, so that one of the effects here is that two clubs as statement will always be able to be used and guaranteed a four-card major. Okay, now many people use four suit transfers or two spades transfer to clubs, two no trumps transfer to diamonds, and they get into these machinations where they have to flirt bids because they may or may not have a four-card major. By using the dual purpose bid, that goes away, and you're guaranteeing your partner you have a four-card major. Okay, the three spades is used as a relay to three no trump, so you can sign off in three no trump or to do a mild suit slam try. You go, well, that's kind of interesting because, let's say you've got 7 clubs and you've got 16 points. How do you get there? Well, you bid 3 spades, your partner bids 3 no trump, you bid 4 clubs, and your partner knows that we're investigating slam. And now, really interesting construct. Okay, and the same is true. There's a nice clarification in terms of being able to describe weak minor suit hands with respect to two no trump, and also as a transfer to one of the minors, which we'll talk about next. So there's a lot that comes into play here, and it's really important that within the sequence of the conventions that this one is added now, because everything else that follows is based upon the use of the dual purpose bids. Okay, now we've all talked about, we've been using this two spades as a transfer to minors. Now what we're going to do now though is we're going to introduce full minor suit transfers by using two spades as a transfer to clubs, or as an indicative of a balanced hand with 8 to 9 points, and two no trump as a transfer to diamonds, or a request for our partner to tell us how many clubs they have in relationship to the number of diamonds. Okay, I don't want to go into all the details about that because it's just too hard to understand at this particular point in time without the proper building blocks. But what it does is it allows us to clarify these weak hands and to bid them appropriately, end up at the right contract at the right level. Okay, block number 13 is going to be able to describe a minor suit hand with 5-4 in the minors and a singleton or void when we've got enough points that we want to investigate slam. Okay, which I imagine the majority of us have never tried because we just had no idea how to do it. Okay, and the last one, the next to last building block is what we call game force puppet statement. Okay, now what this actually does is allow the opener to open one no trump with a 5-card major with a very, very particular hand shape and the maximum number of points. And it's kind of in summary, you need to have 5 cards in the one major, 3 cards in the other major, and you need to have a maximum no trump opening of a good 16 to 17 high card points. Okay, now the advantage of this is it allows the 2 clubs to be used as invitational statement and 3 clubs to be used as game force statement. Okay, and so it gives the responder the capability of immediately clarifying whether they're interested in their hand invitational or game force. Is a big, big addition, okay, in terms of providing that information immediately. So it opens up the vista of other things that you can do. Okay, now the last thing here is really the only Everything we've talked about here are conventions that the responder initiates. The last one here is a convention that the opener initiates after as an extension of the Jacobi transfer. And it's called the SuperAccept. And what it shows that it can show whether the opener has no weak doubletons or tripletons, a weak doubleton or tripleton, or two weak doubletons or tripletons. Okay, and you go, well, that's pretty descriptive. And by the way, if you've got a weak doubleton or tripleton, it tells the partner what suit it's in. Okay, so it's very, very explicit, and it's a very useful convention. Okay, and it shows hands that are mildly slam invitational because it guarantees in most situations that you've got a maximum no trump open. Okay, now what we're going to, that is the roadmap, okay, and that pretty well, that concludes, well, there's a couple more that I'm not even going to talk about that could be added into that sequence. I'm not even going to put them out there because they get down to the point of being able to describe very, very particular hand shapes, and we'll leave that to the experts. Okay, now, as part of the lesson, we're going to use SuperAccept. So I'm going to give you we're going to go through a quick boot camp. Okay, when you click on the link that I send you in a minute, you're going to see this screen. And you'll see on my screen, I've typed in Al the dummy. So type in your first and your last name instead of your nickname. That way I know who you are. And we don't have a whole bunch of Judys out there. You know, it's really bad if you got 15 different Judys. And you say, hey, Judy, what's your question? And you know, you have 15 different Judys saying, okay, that does cause a problem. Okay, just ignore the partner's nickname, ignore this remember inputs, and just click on continue. Okay, just click on continue. Okay, now when you click on continue, you'll immediately be seated at a table. Okay, cool. Okay, and you're going to be the only one at that table. There'll be 3 robots, and everybody will be sitting in the same seat. Okay, now if I don't have the game set up, it'll say please wait to be seated. And I have to go over and I have to put in an entry or 2, and then you'll be seated. Right, now this is what the basic SuperBridge screen looks like. All right, looks pretty much like a bridge table, doesn't it? With you here, that's you. Okay, this is your hand. Okay, and this is your partner's hand. Cool, that's pretty easy to understand. All right, now we've got the seat designations in north, west, east, and south. And you know, you will be seated at wherever I've decided to seat you. In some cases, you'll be south, and sometimes you'll be north. Okay, and actually, I sometimes switch you around in the middle of a hand. All right, now here's where the auction is that's occurred. Okay, so in this case, it was 1 diamond, 3 hearts, pass, pass, pass. Okay, in some cases, there'll be so many bids that it all won't fit into the auction block in there, but there'll be a scroll bar there where you can go up and down so you can review the auction. Okay, reviewing the auction and understanding what has been bid is critical in order to making a declare plan if you're the declarer, or bidding if you're the responder, or understanding what your defensive strategy should be if you're on defense. So that's where that information is. All right, now in order to play a card, you click on it and it will raise up. Okay, that's kind of thing. And I think that's a card I want to play. All right, then if you click on it again, it'll actually get played. Okay, so it's a 2-click process. Okay, and over here, just for information, it tells you what the last trick was, so you can review it. You know, this is helpful, but I'd almost wish they get rid of it because doesn't really duplicate the real playing environment. But because this is a lesson environment, we want to give you as much information as possible. But when you're actually playing, you're not going to be able to let that trick lay there like that. Well, actually, you can until you make the opening lead, your next lead, then it would go away because you have to turn it over. All right, now this is a little bit confusing. This causes a lot of confusion. Okay, in that this is what I'm going to call the trick summary. Okay, and what we see here is the contract by South is to declare 3 no trump is the contract. So to make 3 no trump, you have to take 9 tricks. So that's what that's 9 is. And at this particular point in time in the play of this hand, North-South has taken 0 tricks. So they've taken no tricks of the 9 that are required to make the contract. And East-West took the first trick. Okay, so this is kind of like a scoreboard at the football game or the baseball game that tells you what the current score is between the opposing sides. The next box is the undo box. When you're playing on Shark Bridge, obviously you're going to be playing most of the time, almost all the time. All my lessons, you're probably going to be playing by yourself with 3 robots. Okay, if you play a card, decide, nah, that's not what I want, or you make a bid and go, that's not what I want to do, click undo, and it'll just undo because no permissions are going to be required from anybody else to do that. So it's a way, and you can click the undo button multiple times to get back to the point where you want to be. All right, now in the unusual situation, you got frozen, you need help or something, you send a chat to the director. Now, also, since we've got Zoom running in the background, you can actually request to ask me a question. All right, now we've reached the point where we're normally going to go to Shark Bridge. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do that. All right, I'm going to do a new share. We're going to come over here. I'm going to do that. Okay, you can see I've activated the Shark Bridge screen. Now this Shark Bridge window is layered in on top of the Zoom window because you can still hear me. Okay, what we're using Zoom for is the audio and the video. And in this case, the video that I have shared up on top is the Shark Bridge window, but you can still hear me. So now I'm going to click continue. Okay, it says please wait to be seated because I haven't fixed the setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everybody at the south table. Okay. All right, and I think I have to load the deals. Okay, I'm going to upload the deal set. All right. Now, what we've got here is, let's see, do I want to, let's see. Okay, we're Alba Dummy here. This is there. Okay, what we want to do is, let's see, we're going to switch this. And we're going to put me north. No. I did this wrong. Okay, well, we're going to go through this, all right, because we're going to actually come back here, and I'm going to, since I've got this, I'm going to create all right. What I'm going to do is walk you through this hand and show you how to play. Okay, we've got a new way well, this is how we bid now. The declare is down here, the north, and Al the declare is going to be the declare. Okay, so we're going to bid 1 no trump. Okay, and okay, and now we have East who's going to pass. And now here's one of the things that can come into play. Okay, what should South bid? Okay, remember that South is the captain. Okay, and now in this particular situation, knowing all the things that we should be using, what the South should actually bid is 3 spades. What in the heck is 3 spades? Well, 3 spades is a relay 3 no trump using the 1 no trump response system. Okay, and the other opponent's going to pass, and our partner obligingly is going to bid 3 no trump. Okay, and the next person is going to. Okay, did I get that up there? Pass. Okay, now what is South going to do? South is going to bid 4 clubs. Okay, and what 4 clubs is after that relay, because this is a dual purpose bid. You know, if we pass it, we said, hey, we went to play 3 no trump. Bidding 4 clubs, we're saying, hey, we want to investigate slam. Okay, and we want to investigate slam in clubs. So now we're progressing, and the opponent passes, and what we're going to do now is that the opener is going to start Q bid by bidding, say, I've got the first or second round control in diamonds, which he does. Then there's a pass. Then the partner is going to say, I've got first round control in hearts. Say, oh, good. And because now they're going to then go ahead and initiate Blackwood in this case. Okay. Now they're asking for the number of aces, and South has got 3 of them, so we've got clubs is 1 or 4, diamonds, hearts, spades. So we're going to bid 5 spades, saying that I've got 3 of them. Okay, and now he says, oh, good, I've got 1. That gives us all 4. So now I want to know how many kings you got. So he bids 5, no trump, pass. And he says, well, I've got 1, 5, 6. We're going to bid 6 diamonds. Okay, so now they've collected quite a bit of information. They know they've got all the aces. They know they've got all the kings. He's got this really strong club suit. He knows his partner's got at least 2 clubs. Okay, and now using some really advanced techniques could actually, you know, you've got to make the decision now whether they want to go to the 6th level or the 7th level. So since he's got the maximum number of points, he's got that queen of spades over there, you know, it's probably about a 70% probability. The responder takes the bull by the horn and says, okay, we've got all the aces, all the kings, and the whole thing that depends on is going to be on the split in the clubs and where the queen of clubs is. So he says, I'm going to bid 7 no trump. All right, now everybody passes. All right, so now you can see they've changed the layout here since the last time I was on here, and they give the full bidding sequence, which is really nice. That's a nice improvement. Okay. All right, now we can go ahead and we can now, I'm going to run the robots. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to play this. Now, one of the things I just noticed about this is the screen is bigger in terms of showing you the cards. Okay, so that should be nice for you guys that are visually impaired. All right, so they decided they're going to lead by the 9 of clubs to try to they're saying 7 no trump. They're making a passive lead, so they're going to give us the tricks that we deserve. And we really look down here, we go, well, we've got the ace, king, queen. So we know we've got 6 club tricks. We know we've got 2 heart tricks. We know we've got 3 spade tricks. We know we've got 2 diamond tricks. And we add that up and say that's 14. We've got 14 tricks. Okay. So since I want to show you how to play, okay, I'm going to click on this. See, when I put my my cursor on the 6, it pops up and said play it. Okay, here it comes, pops up, play it. Time to declare. Okay, I'll leave this back. So you can see how easy the play of the cards is, and how it simulates real life play. All right, so you can see how that goes. Now, you get to the point that, well, I've got all the tricks, so I'm going to claim. Okay, so how many tricks do you wish to claim? I wish to claim all 10 of them. Okay, so it comes over here, it says service processing a claim from Al the dummy. Okay, what did it do? Okay, so I guess it rejected. Well, no, it accepted it. It then wasn't real clear. Here it is over here, sir. Claim accepted. Okay, so we made 1,520 points. Let's see if we've got another deal. Okay, we do. All right. Okay, and just for the heck of it, okay, we're going to go through and we're going to bid this hand again. Okay, this is actually the same hand. So let's see. We got another deal? No. Okay, so I accidentally got rid of the first deal. So because the purpose was just to show you how to navigate and use SharkBridge, I'm going to go ahead and continue. I'm going to close SharkBridge now. Okay, so you can see what happens. We're closing SharkBridge, and it says connection lost because I turned SharkBridge off on the other computer. We just click exit. Okay, and we're going to come back to a new share. I'm going to come back to the here, and what we're going to do is come back, and I can get my mouse up here. My mouse has stopped working. Okay, let's oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. Okay, there it's back. It's back. Okay, it's back. I'm going to stop share. Okay, and I'm going to share screen again. And back over here, click on here, start share. It's going to then preserve it. For some reason, it ate my mouse. And I love technology and everything, but it's difficult. And I know learning all these new tools is difficult for you too. So we'll come back here and we'll have questions. Okay, so if there are things that have occurred during the lesson, you've written them down, so forth, or during the play over at SharkBridge, you can ask them and we pursue those answers. Now, just so you know that the hands that you're playing over on SharkBridge are going to be available at the end of the lesson, at the end of your lesson handout, with the information so you can see what the hand was, how it was bid, and so forth. So that concludes the lesson for today. So what we're going to go do is, I hope you found this instructive, and I terminate this now. I hope you have a great day.